everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about something called Morton's foot structure. So what Morton's foot structure is when your second metatarsal is longer than your first metatarsal. To make this a little clearer, I'm going to show you how to tell if you have it, tell you what problems can arise from having Morton's foot structure, and show you a quick fix with some store-bought insoles that you can use to fix the problem. So the first thing is to tell how or if you have it. So if I have my foot and I bend my toes back, and you see these, I call them toe knuckles, these bones up here sticking up, I'm going to use a pen to make it more visual. If my second one is higher than my first, so you can see that I have this. It's actually not uncommon. 1 in 3 people have Morton's foot structure. So my second one is higher than my first one. Doesn't mean that my toe is longer, it just means that this bone here is longer. Then you have Morton's foot structure. So a few of the problems associated with Morton's foot structure. So first, if you have a normal foot structure, when you land heel, and then the ball of your foot and the part under the little toe strike the ground at the same time. So we have 3 points of contact, heel, and then the 2 parts on the outside hit the floor. If you have Morton's foot structure, what happens is the heel hits the ground and then the second metatarsal hits the ground. So we have uneven base. We don't have that triangle of support. We now just have 2 marks. So our foot hits the ground and it does this to adjust. Now, because you're born with this, you won't notice that you have it because you've probably adapted. However, it does cause problems later on. So you might walk and your feet collapse in like this. That might be one of the problems. And because of this, you'll feel it all the way up your leg, into your knee. Some people feel it into their hip and even higher up in the body. So a quick fix. First, I'm going to show you a test to determine how thick moleskin that we're going to need. I'll explain to you exactly what this is going to be for in just a second, but first, the test. So we're going to stand up, barefoot, on a hard surface with your feet shoulder width apart. Then you're going to bend your knees so that your hips go straight down. So you're going to bend about 4 to 6 inches. And you're going to shift your weight. So right now, for me, I actually don't feel a lot of my weight under the ball of my foot because I have Morton's foot structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my knees, and in proper alignment, my knees will be in line with my middle toe. I'm going to shift my knees until I feel a little bit of weight in the ball of my foot. And when I get there, that's going to tell me how thick I need the moleskin. So for me, I only need it a little bit, and my big toe ends up in line with my knee. So that tells me I need a 3.5 millimeter. You have a second option, which is a 6 millimeter moleskin, and that's if your knees have to go even further past your big toes for you to feel that pressure under the ball of the foot. So once you've done that test, you're going to need some store-bought insoles. I already drew on them with my marker because these are far too big for me, the size of my foot. So just to show you, you draw it and you're going to cut that out. And you're going to need some moleskin. I just went with Life Brand, it was cheaper. I used a quarter to measure out a circle or 2 circles. And these circles are actually going to go under the balls of your feet. So you're going to draw those out and then you're going to cut everything out. So now we're cutting it all out. your insole. So basically for this, you just trace your foot so it'll fit into your shoe. Okay, so now that that's done, we are going to be actually sticking these under the ball of the foot. So where the ball of your foot falls, that's where you're going to be putting it, but on the underside of the insole. And the reason for this is that when you put your foot in and out of your shoe, if it's on the top side, it's just going to eventually tear off. Once you've got this, you slip them into your shoes and you're all set to go. So this should actually level off that disbalance that you end up with and correct that problem of when you land and your foot doing this. Now you have that extra support. Mine's 3.5 millimeters underneath the ball of your foot. So now when you land, you're landing heel, ball of the foot, and the outside at the same time. So 3 points instead of 2. So these insoles are going to correct the structural problem, but you will still have to strengthen some of the other muscles because you've been walking for so long with your feet kind of out of balance. You'll have some weaknesses in the medial glute, maybe on the muscles on the inside of the leg. So those corrective exercises that you can find in some of our other videos on glute strengthening or lower leg strengthening. We'll link some of those up at the end. I hope you enjoyed the video, and good luck with your insoles.